Hey guys, I'm DylanJMath, and this is the pad. Hey every boy and girl, time for the pad. Everybody gather round, even mom and dad. You might learn something new, you just wait and see. It's time for the P-A-D. Everybody sing it now. P-A-D. 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 That spells pad. Alright, now I have a guest star. G-Dawg, come on in.
Hey guys, what's up? G-Dawg.
Alright, put my guitar back here. And this is the first episode of the new and improved pad.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be like a talk show kind of thing. It's not really a talk show because it's not famous. So, I mean, you can call it a talk show if you want. So today we're going to do a game. And this game is we're going to each tell 2 stories. And we're going to try to guess which story is true and which story is false out of each of us. And whoever gets the most right gets a special prize. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I'll tell you guys later.
I love prizes.
Alright, then hopefully you win. Okay, do you want to go first or should I go first?
You go first.
Alright, that'll get you time to think of a fake and a real story while I'm doing this.
Yes.
Alright, the first story. One time when my brother and I were around 6 and 4, for some reason, we were going into our mom's room to wake her up, but we decided to look out her window. And on the front porch, we saw a squirrel. And we thought to ourselves, hey, maybe we should feed the squirrel. And we went down to our kitchen and tried to open a jar of peanut butter, yet neither of us was strong enough to do so. So, being idiots, we got all the food, most of the food from all of the cupboards in our kitchen, and we put it outside. We buttered Cheerios together, we got oranges, and oh man, everything but peanut butter we put on the front porch where we saw the squirrel. And the only thing that it attracted was more insects, like bees and ants and God knows what else. Yeah, so that was a bad experience because 2 guys from the dry cleaners Yorgies across the street came over and said, hey, does your mom know you're doing this? And we said, no. And just then, she comes up behind us. What the hell are you guys doing? And we were like, we are feeding the squirrels. No! Your punishment's going to be being out there. Well, first of all, we were terrified of bees. And we thought that every flying insect in the world was a bee. Because, like, even flies are out there and stuff. So that terrified us. Our punishment was to be out there with all the bees and flies while our mom cleaned up the porch. Okay, now here's the second story. Alright, now I was at my friend Curtis's house. It was me and Colin, and we were messing with walkie-talkies. And these walkie-talkies sometimes picked up interference from truck drivers, especially on snowy days. This wasn't a snowy day, but we tried to do it anyway, and it was kind of crazy because one time, it sounds like the cat's trying to get out of the basement. Anyway, we were doing that and we picked up a signal from a truck driver saying something about like, bring Alexis in. Should I bring Alexis in? She is not a happy camper. And I was like, sure. But first, do you have a son or daughter? And he said, well, I have 2 sons. And I was like, we have one of your sons captive, and we're going to murder him if you do not pay us $50,000. And he said, yeah, right, you son of a bitch. Where are you? And I said, you'll never find out. And he said, okay, tell me the truth. Do you really have my son or not? The damn dog. It's all right. And he said, "Do you really have my son?" And I said, "Yes." "What's his name?" "I'm not going to tell you my son's name." So I said, "Well, then we're just going to kill him." And then my friend Curtis was like, "Dad, help, help." And he said, "Wait, that does sound like my son. Curtis!" And then we were like, "Oh crap, it was Curtis's dad." It was Curtis's dad the whole time. And we're like, "Sorry, we don't really have your son. This is just his friends." "What?" And we kind of just like didn't talk to him anymore. So yeah, and that was the story of how we picked up on Curtis's dad truck driving. And yeah, so can you guess which story was real and which story was fake?
I think the first story was real and the second one was fake.
Correct. So you're gonna win some prize. And now, do you have any stories for me?
Well, I believe I do.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Let me get one really good. Okay, so when I was younger and I lived in Alabama, I lived there for 3 years. We used to have these raccoons that would come up to our back porch and they would eat off the bird feeders. And eventually these raccoons like ended up being real nice to us and like really comfortable with us, and they'd like let us pet them and stuff. And then two of them had babies, and we had actually like named them and stuff, and they'd come up to the porch all the time. And the two of them had babies, and the babies would crawl underneath the plexiglass and get inside the bird feeders and lay on their back and eat the seeds off their stomach. And it was the cutest thing ever. So, okay, so that's my first story. And my second story is, about a week ago, I was in school, and my friend like felt really sick at lunch, and she wasn't eating and stuff, and it like she looked really bad and like really pale, and she fainted in front of everybody. Okay, and that's my main story.
All right. Based on what I've heard before, I think the raccoon story is the real one, and the second one is the fake one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got one.
We both get a prize. I'll tell you what the prize is in the vlog later. So, that's it for this episode of The Pad.